Hello, CEO teachers. Welcome back to the show. I am loving today's topic. It's all about social media. It's one of my favorite things, whether you love social media or you don't. We are trying our best to find out what's working right now and what you just can't ignore for the new year. So today's episode is going to be all about what not to do, what mistakes not to make on social media right now. And we're giving this as like a general statement. So, on all social media platforms, friends, I know that everyone tells you that you need an email list. And while they aren't wrong, it is important to note that you cannot create the business of your dreams without social media. And I'm just being honest, that's just the way that the world works today. So, stick around, you don't want to miss it. What if I told you you couldn't lose? That I could give you a sure bet, a smooth ride to finally loving the art of teaching again. I know it sounds crazy, but it's funny how when something sparks inside of you, when your heart gets lit back up, that you can change your life for the good, not only in the area of teaching, but really in every single thing that you do. I remember this aha moment when I was a teacher and I was sitting there teaching other people's kids. And I thought, man, I'm getting paid to raise other people's children while I'm paying someone to raise mine. And that didn't sit well for me. So I started thinking to myself, how can I make extra money? How can I provide for my family more so that I can do this part time or I can leave if I want to, or I can teach just in a different way? And I started thinking, how can I help other teachers? And if you're thinking to yourself, but I'm just a teacher, I don't really have any other skill set, I want to say thank goodness, because that is our specialty. Teachers supporting other teachers. It's exactly what we do here. I want you to start living the life you deserve. The 10 steps to get started selling your teaching resources online is your roadmap to help you take massive action and prioritize the most important things in life. I'm going to show you the strategies that I took when I began my journey, and I started living a life not only of my dreams, but now the life that I live and breathe every single day. I want to give that gift to you. Go to CaseyMorris.com/10 steps to get your brand spanking new workbook. I can't wait to change your life and give you some hope and some dreams again about teaching, because this is what you were meant to do. It just might be a little different than what they told you in college. Again, it's CaseyMorris.com/10 steps. You can type it in your browser like KAYSEMORRIS.com/10 steps. So I'm coming at you today. It's the end of the day. I already worked out. I'm like super sweaty. And I just wanted to come on here though and say thank you so much. I usually try to record these on Monday mornings, but I am going to be out of the country for the first time in my life. Small town Georgia girl is getting to fly out of the country. And I just wanted to say thank you, because it is not without extreme gratitude and extreme thankfulness. I don't know how to even put it into words, that I get to live this life because of each and every one of you. I will never stop saying thank you. It has been a dream of mine my entire life. I went from being terrified to fly on my first flight alone to Nashville, Tennessee for a teacher convention about 6 years ago, to traveling out of the country by myself. And I just don't even have the right words to say thank you so much. It is my brother's 40th birthday. I'm recording this the day before, so he doesn't know yet, but by the time this airs, he will. And my brother and his wife, and my other brother and his wife, and his best friends, we are all traveling together to surprise him for his 40th birthday. So he knows he's going on this vacation, but what he doesn't know is that we are coming. So I'll be sure to document it all, but it is just what a life. What a life. Thank you guys so much. So let's jump into the show. I don't want you to make these mistakes on social media. Amy Jo Martin said, social media is a dialogue, not a monologue. And some people don't understand. Social media, it's more like a telephone rather than television. Ooh, such a good. And then Eric Quailman said, we don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question just is how well we do it. People watch about 17 hours of online video content per week. I used to get that notification that told me how much I was on my phone. I took that off because that was really depressing. And then I would justify it all, kinds of ways. I try not to get like deep into my phone until the evening times after my kids are in bed, and I try not to stay on it too long, but we all know that social media, we all were there, the number is expected to increase. People are going to spend even more time on social media. I hope healthy time. I hope it's not in a negative way for sure. Studies show that after viewing stories on Instagram, 62% of users become more interested in a brand, a person, or a product. Hear that number, 62%. How many of you are not doing stories? I love Instagram stories. Like, this is my jam. I love it. I recently joined Snapchat just for my best friend. I swore I would never do it. I don't know why I agreed to it, but I don't know how to Snapchat. She makes fun of me. She's like, how are you this bad? And I said, I don't know. I'm just used to talking to like everybody on Instagram stories. I don't know how to have a one-to-one conversation on Snapchat. It's so strange. 83% of shoppers are turning to Instagram for product discovery. 65% of business to business marketers claim they will increase their LinkedIn usage next year. 50% of brands have adopted marketing automation tools for social media management. TikTok reached 1.5 billion users in 2023, and that's a 16% increase from the previous year. 2024 will see 25.8% increase predicted in TikTok users. 2024 will also see new social media privacy regulations based on growing AI abilities within each platform. I wanted to share just some important legal things that you should make yourself aware of if you're interested. I'm not going into details. I don't do legal talk. But GDPR, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation, it's the toughest security law in the land right now. The California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, it's the strongest state privacy law. Google's updated privacy policy, it allows them to collect data to improve their AI systems. And probably one of our biggest changes in our membership and our company is how we use Zoom. Zoom does not currently provide an option to specifically opt out of having your calls recorded for their AI models. We no longer use Zoom recording for when we do our coaching calls because inside of the fine details, it talks about how they are using your information to train their AI models. And if you have something that is proprietary to you, that means that it no longer belongs to you. And that freaked me out. So we are no longer using Zoom for our membership recordings, which is sad because everyone knows how to use it, but we're doing just fine. We found something else. If you're looking to grow your social media presence in 2024, here are my top 5 tips. Number 1, you heard me say this a few weeks back, so don't roll your eyes. I'm just trying to make sure you understand. Don't ignore short form video content. This is the number 1 hangup for some of the students that we have. They don't want to put in the work here. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes planning, strategy, all the things. We're playing chess, not checkers anymore on social media, friends. So in order to play chess, the best thing that you can do is plan a few steps ahead. The struggle here is that it does take a long time to create. You may not want to show your face. You may not have a plan. So start planning your life, and then how can you incorporate social media into it? I mentioned before that I'm sharing about marathon training because I know I'm going to do that every week. That's a great place for me to get content. Content creation is king. It always has been. It always will be. So make sure that you have a dedicated time and space throughout your entire week to create content. I used to say, if you're not creating, you're not making. And that dealt with Teachers Pay Teachers products or your lesson plans. The same now applies to your social media content. If you're not creating social media content, you are not going to be making money because people want a face with a brand. Teachers, they need to see you in action. It's how people learn. Some of us are auditory learners. Most of us are visual learners. However, we make a decision very quickly if we love a brand or not. I think about Chick-fil-A. We know that if we're in a hurry, we can go to Chick-fil-A and we're going to get our meal a lot quicker than if I go try to get a Happy Meal from McDonald's. Maybe that's just my small town, but Chick-fil-A's got it going on and I got 5 kids and I got to go in there. I got to get in and get out, right? I got to make sure that I can get what I need. And so people are going to do that here. They're going to go and see, is this person real? Do they really show up? Are they really good at what they do? And if they have 2 options and one is creating content and someone else isn't, they're going to go with the person that has the best proof of concept, right? The person that has the social proof, the person that has been doing this, that really has created a name for themselves. So how can you begin to prioritize video in 2024 while we are still trying to set the stage for what next year could look like? The first thing that I want to make sure you remember is that the strongest human emotion that has been proven is no longer love. Instead, it's authenticity. How can you be authentically you? That means your scars, your ugliness, your beauty, all of the things that you have that make you you, you got to start showing that on social media, including all the things that make your brand your brand. Face to face just works, friends. Even if you're not good at it, you don't get good at it until you've been doing it for a while. Go check out our YouTube channel. Scroll on back to the olden days. Painful. I say that a lot, but it's so true. Make sure that you're showing behind the scenes. People really like to be a part of the creation process, the story. Jeff Walker says people want that in which they help create. So if they are watching something and seeing all aboard the CEO teacher train coming by, seeing what you're doing behind the scenes, then it makes them feel like they are a part of what's happening. For example, I take pictures a lot of times of me recording each week's podcast because I want people to see, hey, this is what I'm recording. I hope you check it out. You'll be able to see it in a few days. Number two, on ways that you can grow your social media presence and mistakes you don't need to make is that you don't need to create generic content anymore. This is just going to fall flat. Yes, going viral is all the rage, but then what? It actually breaks my heart to see these really large companies giving people that dopamine hit, because this is what's happening, friends. And I'm going to be very frank with you. You're on social media, you start feeding the beast. We talk about this in our membership coaching call a lot. You start showing up on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook every day. And what happens when you feed the beast on social media is that it starts picking up on that. And it starts saying, wow, this person's putting in a lot of effort. This person must really care about our platform and about their brand. So we're going to pay a little bit more attention to them. And then you start doing all the things right. You get the viral sounds, you do the reels, you start getting engagement. And so one day you create something that has just the right amount of oomph. It's perfect. And you put it on that social media platform and you've been feeding the beast for a couple months and bam, it's overnight. Something that you have goes viral. Your TikTok shop explodes. Your TPT store gets 1,000 purchases. Your products or services instantly get thousands of eyes on them because you went viral. What happens is that social media platform did something psychological to you that you might not even know. They repaid you for your hard work with a dopamine hit. You got that dopamine, but the problem is that you will be chasing that high, that virality or that vanity metrics, maybe for the rest of your life. Maybe until they let it happen again, but chances are it won't be as high as it was the first time. And so what's happening is people are creating businesses on a false sense of hope, is that they are going to go viral again. And friends, if that's your business strategy, it's not a good one. It probably won't last. And although you may be successful right now, what I can promise you is this, is that social media will change and that you should use it as a toolbox, but it is not a rule book. So don't create generic content with the hopes that it'll go viral because that's what everyone else is doing. You may get 1 million views on a reel once. You may be creating something that sounds fun. I know that one of our best one of our best TikToks was me coming home from the grocery store. I unloaded the groceries. I talked about my life and man, I can't believe this is my life. And I get to do all these things and it's amazing. And that went viral. And so we started using it for a Facebook ad. And guess what? That Facebook ad gave us the lowest cost per lead we'd ever gotten before. We were on fire. We had the best leads. We had the best views. But guess what happened is we could track those people. And none of those people, I don't know if anyone purchased our program from that. I don't think that they did. Like, I honestly think that we had 0 sales from those people, because here's the thing is that what went viral did not help me grow my business, because me telling people about my life while I unload groceries is just a step to awareness. It just helps them know me. It doesn't help them purchase our membership. It's not the same. So I know that was a little deep and I kind of went rogue there, but I hope that you understood where I was coming from. So how can your content support your business? How can it support your customer journey? How can you share behind the scenes content that shows your audience exactly how they can do it too? Are you sharing the human components of your life so that you can connect with people in the real world? Number 3 on mistakes not to make on social media right now is don't forget to align your online presence with your values and your mission. It happens so often, especially in the MLM community, but people get caught up in the social media drama or speaking their mind or allowing people to get under their skin. what I want to encourage you to do, and this takes a little bit of time, which is why we have a huge module on this in our business school, is that you should create a mission statement for your company, for your business, for your social media, for who you are. And you need to get very clear on what you stand for so that if something happens that maybe makes you angry or makes you happy or you want to overshare about, you can go back to that. I know I share this all the time, so I roll too here. Our number one core value is be a good human, be good to all people. And our number two core value is family first, family always. So if something goes awry, if we get canceled on social media, I hope that that never happens, but you never know. I hope I never put our company in that position where I would say something that would cancel us. But I go back, if I say something that could be controversial, I don't believe that you shouldn't be controversial. That's not what I'm saying. But I ask myself, am I being a good human? Am I being good to all people? And then I say, how could this affect my family and the families of all the people that I love, including my students, the people that watch my stories, the world? Is it family first, family always, or am I putting myself first? And so having those core values allow us to align our online presence with that. So there's really no gray area for where we stand. If there's a huge thing going on in the world, sometimes we may not speak about it on Instagram stories. It's not because we don't care, but it's because we were remembering, how can we serve all people and how can we put our families first? I love this saying. I actually said it to one of my gym friends the other day, is that if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. It's a no. And you get really good at it over time, but it just takes time. Creating that vision, that mission of who we are, where we're going, what we stand for, allows you to always ask yourself that question when people say you're not speaking up about this topic, or I messaged you this and you didn't respond. I never will get heated with anyone or have an argument with anyone on social media because, for one, I don't know these people. I don't argue with strangers. I don't argue, period. And so that's just important to remember. Number 4 on mistakes not to make on social media right now is don't disregard the number one human emotion of authenticity that I mentioned before. I have always said this, but teachers will sniff out the fakes so fast. You cannot fake it anymore. People may think you're fake at first, but if you really focus in on who you are and you are steady with that forever, it's going to pay off. So people can make assumptions about you or about your company. But if you are steady, if you are steadfast, and you continue to be that person, that brand, then there will be no question. I love to think about it as the war of attrition. If you are the same person every day, day after day, people will not think your intentions are ill. If you show up and show out every day, if your discipline carries you and you keep your promises, there's really no gray area for people to say, she's not who she says she is, or her business is not who I think that they are, because there's 10 years of proof now. So just remember that, is that you have to be authentic, but that requires you to be authentic 365. Do I mess up? Yes. Do I fall off the train sometimes? Yes. I'm not a gossiper, but do I get sucked into the conversation sometimes? Yes. Because we are human, and that's okay. But just remember that at the end of the day, you must replay what you do. You must say to yourself, was I my best self today? And if I wasn't, I'm going to start again tomorrow. Gabby Bernstein talks about the idea of choosing again. So I mentioned the other day that she has a mantra that says, I am not in alignment with my power and I want to choose again. That was ad-libbed, so I'm not sure how accurate that was, but just think about that as you may get off track with social media or your brand or in life, and tell yourself, I recognize that this is not in alignment with my power and I want to choose again. That moment of weakness becomes a moment of power. It brings your energy back to you so that you can be the best version of yourself for social media or for anything. How can you create authentic content that showcases all of those things about you on your platforms? Be sure again to think about behind the scenes and share stories that connect. Donald Miller is the creator of Building a Story Brand. I talked about Brene Brown being a miraculous storyteller. Brendon Bouchard on stage is unbeatable. Listening to people tell stories that make you feel like, oh, I get it. Oh, yeah, I've been there before. That's how we connect. That's how we have real world relationships with people. That's how you aren't fake. That's how you really grow an audience. And then finally, mistakes that you don't need to make on social media right now is that you just can't rely on a single platform anymore. You got to diversify. You got to know the ins and the outs of the platform you are using because the strategies are different, the tactics are different. I cannot talk as slow as I do on TikTok as I do on Instagram stories. People aren't going to watch it. They're going to swipe because it's a quick hit on TikTok as people are scrolling. Myself included. I put everyone in 2 times speed on TikTok because ain't nobody got time to be listening to your story for that slow. We got things to do. We got people to see. Make sure you repurpose your content as much as you can across social media platforms. However, remember this, we've used this strategy and it works, is you need to exhaust the life of whatever content you're using right now on social media on a platform before you share it to another platform. This used to not be what they taught you. They used to say, post it on everything and just schedule it out. Do it all in the same day. Not anymore. I will post something on Instagram and I will let it live its life, however long that life may be. It may be 2 days, it may be 2 weeks, it may be 2 months. And once its lifespan has started to really slow down, then and only then we'll share it on another social platform because we don't want them to compete with each other. We want people to really get in where they can. If it's working well, then why would we fix it? I hope that you enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much for being a beautiful part of my life. I love you today. I love you every day. And I am so eager to show you what 2024 is going to look like for the CEO Teacher. Friends, as always, remember your best is yet to come. And I'll see you right here next Wednesday. Bye.